Hello everybody, welcome to another video on the channel. Today I'm bringing you my first lot of footage from the newly released F1 2018 game. And this first lot of videos I'm bringing to the channel are going to be looking at the new additional classic cars that have come to the series. The first classic car that I'm going to be looking at is the Lotus 72D, which took Emerson Fittipaldi to the 1972 World Championship, where his last victory of that season was here at Monza. So to celebrate that, we are going to be doing a race against 110% ultimate AI, no assists for a 5-lap race. So going to get underway, bring in the clutch, go build up the res and maintain power for the start, otherwise you will bog down in this car. And the lights have gone out and we have got relatively nice launch, slightly better launch than both our teammate and the Lotus 79 just up ahead of us now, but nothing too special. See if we can get a bit of a tow as we go into turn one, as all the cars start to back up. Have to be hard on the brakes. Oh god, we've been cut across by that 80s McLaren right there, most recent of all the cars that are racing on this grid at the moment. 1982 McLaren, very quick car with a lot more downforce and sophisticated chassis and aero than is in this Lotus, but we are actually gaining quite a bit of speed on him. Not sure if we're going to be able to do anything going into the chicane. Cars are backing up, have to take it very slowly. Bit of extra curve trying to avoid contact, but despite that, the McLaren's going to try and run me off the road anyway. As we head towards the first Lesmo, locking up the brakes, trying not to run into the back of anyone. So we get a bit of a twitch from this car. Comes through a second Lesmo now and then onto the backstroke. Probably could have dropped down to third gear then. Yeah, you see, although we are down on power, you see just the amount of time and distance that we lost to the cars in front of us being in the wrong gear there. And breaking into a Ascari now. Really starting to close up. Take quite a healthy amount of curb in this car because quite soft suspension and a good amount of ground clearance in comparison to the modern F1 cars. Wouldn't recommend that so much with the ground effect cars in this set of classic cars because they really do need to be as close to the ground at all times to allow that aerodynamic technology to work as best possible. But we've got quite a good run now onto the cars in front of us, all bunching up, possibly being held up by a slower car, most likely one of my teammates in another Lotus 72, but we've got good slipstream now because we just can't gain time on the cars up ahead. I'm going to brake early for this because I can see it's all going to get quite bunched up, which it has. Let's see if we can do anything, but the AI is just taking up the whole road, so there's nothing we can do there. There's two ground effect cars now going side by side. McLaren more recent, so should really be able to get past this Lotus fairly easily, but that Lotus was definitely a very quick car in its day, and it's no slouch, as we're now going to try and go up the inside of both of them as they brake very early for the chicane, try to leave them room, and that has got us up into P16, just behind a 1976 Ferrari driven by Niki Lauda in that titanic battle between himself and James Hunt, as we get a bit of a slide going through the first Lesmo. Won't make the same mistake again, going down the gear for this corner. You see now actually keeping up out of that turn with Ferrari, but McLaren carries so much more speed. He got more power and far better downforce, and he's absolutely mugged us coming out of the second Lesmo there. We get another kick of oversteer, trying to hold on. Cars are backing up. Not sure what's going on there, but come out of it cleanly, although we get a kick of dust in the face, a spit of flame from McLaren in front of us, and we have unfortunately lost a little bit of time as we now have McLaren on our inside and Lotus on the outside. This AI is not messing around. Have to leave a little bit of space for that McLaren. Once again, pack in front of us, backing up as we then run a little bit onto the Astro, so we've unfortunately compromised our line coming out of there now, and we lost the time and distance that we gained on those cars up ahead as we're under pressure once more. This is going to be very tight. About 4 wide up ahead, 3 wide around me. To go down to chicane, we're mugged by both the McLaren and the Lotus. It's all backing up, trying to keep this very precious car in one piece if I can. Just trying to see if we can get a late apex and get cut back on at least one of these cars. Looks like we might be able to regain a position on that McLaren, but he does have slightly better straight line speed. Oh, running wheel to wheel as we're going down to chicanes, leaving me just enough room. Braking at the bridge. Oh, a little bit of contact with McLaren. Sorry. Although, I suppose it's only fair. He did try to run me off the road earlier. So, slightly dodgy into that chicane there. But we do at least still have a car to work with. First Lesmo again. Have to be really careful on power with this car because it hasn't got great amounts of downforce. And that turbo, you have to respect it. It may not be quite as savage as some of the cars in the late 80s or early 90s with the 1500 horsepower that some of those cars were producing, but you still have to make sure that you respect it. Now, Lotus got a bit of a wiggle halfway through a corner there, and then that compromises line in the second part of Ascari and backed him up into me. McLaren's going to try making a move on us now, and then we've got our Lotus teammate who's in his tow. So we go down to Parabolica, just trying to keep it nice and tight and then get a good exit. AI don't seem to be quite as happy through there as we get a kick of oversteer, as I say that, as we go on to lap 4 of this Monza Grand Prix. McLaren once again going around outside of us. Slipstream really powerful in this game, more powerful than we saw in 2017, I think. You see that he's trying to squeeze us the inside, and I'm going to let him have that, I think, unless I can do something. But a teammate is actually now the inside of us. We've just about managed to hold him off, but he was trying to definitely get past us there. But on the outside, coming out of the chicane, we've just about managed to hold him off. But that lead group of cars now, as they've got past some of the slower traffic, is starting to pull away now. Although we do at least gain a little bit of time going into that second chicane. Can be, say, quite a bit more aggressive with the curbs in this car, but you can't be too generous with them, otherwise you will. Oh, as we look up, running onto the Astro. Teammate is now going to try going around the outside of us, going into the Ascari. This pair of Lotus fighting at the back of the grid, but the fight is as strong as anything else you'll see in the field. Running very close side by side now, and he's, well, fair play, he's braked much later than I did, and he has got us to get a big slide coming out of the Ascari. Try and use the slipstream from him as we go down to Parabolica. It looks like we've got quite a good run as we go down here for the penultimate time, braking just at the 15-meter board. And make sure we get a good exit out of here, see if we can defend our position going into the first chicane. As once more, and for the final time, we go across this finish line to start this final lap. See, improving on our personal best, but this car could definitely go faster around this circuit, but battling this much this often as we go a little bit deep into our chicane. Oh, a little bit of contact. Sorry, bud. I think he still has a wing, but oh, one of the Ferraris has gone off. He's going to try coming back on the circuit. That's the Niki Lauda Ferrari from earlier on that we, for a short amount of time, did actually battle with. Wondered if there was some sort of contact between himself and one of the other AI cars, but whatever happens, he has dropped a significant amount of positions now. Come into the Lesmo again. Car really goes light at the rear there, just trying to desperately hold on to it. Very heavy steering as well, as you'd imagine. No to little very assistance from these cars in this era. Much more of what some people might say is a man's sport, and really having to wrestle his car around. As we go into Ascari for the final time, and trying to stay off that curve because it will spit you out, especially with that turbo, as it does just there, just trying to tease me with spinning around, but we managed to hold on to it. Our teammate is going to try and make a move on us around the outside, going into Parabolica. I'm going to try and hold him off for the last time as we go through there on the power. A little bit of twitch of oversteer, but we just about managed to hold on to it. And as we cross the line, that is going to be a 5-lap race of Monza in the Lotus 72D. Against these AI, they really give you a very strong run for your money, and I think that's been apparent across a lot of things. So great to see that in the game. And at some point I will be doing a full review from my perspective of F1, all the things I think are improvements upon the previous generation, and other things that I think maybe could do with further adjustment in the future. So that is it for this video. There will be more content like this coming up very shortly, so stay tuned if you want to see some more of that. But for now, thank you so much for watching, and until next time, goodbye.